This video is to be used for extra practice on solving word problems. The first one we're going to solve says that 9 times a number diminished by 4 is 95. We want to find the number. So our first step is to define the variable. My variable here I'm going to use is n for a number. Now from here I need to come up with my equation. So I'm going to read the problem carefully. 9 times a number we know is the same thing as 9 multiplied by n, so 9n. Diminished by 4, diminished is another word for subtracting. Is our equal to sign, and then we have 95. So our equation here is 9n minus 4 equals 95. Now we actually want to solve it and find our number n. So from here, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 9n equals 99. Then I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides, and we get n equals 11. Our next problem says Romulo is twice as old as his nephew. The sum of their ages is 108. Find their ages. So first we're going to talk about our variables. I'm going to use r for Romulo, and I'm going to use n for his nephew. Now I need to come up with my equation. Well, it says Romulo is, so r equals twice as old as his nephew. Twice as old is the same thing as multiplying it by 2. So I'm going to say r equals 2n. Then it says the sum of their ages is 108. Sum we know is adding. So I know that if I add Romulo and his nephew, I should get 108. From here, I'm going to actually substitute 2n in for r because I know this is what r equals. So my equation is going to become 2n plus n equals 108. Now from here, I'm going to solve it for n. 2n plus n is 3n. Divide by 3 on both sides. And we know that his nephew is 36 years old. I want to find both of their ages, so I'm going to go back up here to my equation for Romulo. I know that his nephew is 36, so I'm just going to plug in 36 for n. And we find out that Romulo is 72. Now, I told you to make sure your answers make sense. Well, 72 is twice as old as 36, and 36 plus 72 equals 108, so I know we did it correctly. The next problem says the width of a rectangular swimming pool is 8 feet less than the length. The perimeter is 92 feet. What is the width? Now, anytime you have a rectangle problem, I want you to draw your rectangle. I already drew one here. It says the width of a rectangular swimming pool is. So my variables here, we know, are going to be W for width, and we're going to use L for length. It says the width is, so W equals 8 feet less than the length. The common mistake here is I see a lot of people say 8 minus L. Remember, less than doesn't mean 8 minus, it means L minus 8. So we're going to label our width as L minus 8. We're going to label our length as L and L. From here, you can either use your perimeter equation and plug it in. Our perimeter equation is P equals twice our length plus twice our width. But a lot of people like to just look at your rectangle and add up all the sides. From here, I know that perimeter is L minus 8 plus L minus 8 plus L. And they told us that our total is 92. So I'm going to set it equal to 92. From here, I can solve for my length. L plus L plus L plus L is 4L. Negative 8 and negative 8 give us negative 16. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And we get 4L equals 108. Divide by 4 on both sides. And we get that L equals 27. So if I know my length is 27, I can go ahead and label my length 27 and 27. Then 27 minus 8 is going to be 19. The perimeter equations are always easy to check because you can just add up all the sides and make sure it works. 27 plus 27 plus 19 plus 19 should equal 92. Well, we know 27 plus 27 is 54, and we know that 19 plus 19 is 38. Those added together do equal 92, so I know I did it correctly. Now we have a problem that says the measure of an angle is 47 degrees more than its supplement. Find the measure of both angles. So for my variables, I'm going to use A for an angle, and then I'm going to use S for its supplement. Now you may not remember what supplement means, but supplement means that both of these angles have to add together to equal 180 degrees. So if we go back and read carefully, the measure of an angle, so A, equals 47 degrees more than its supplement. So 47 more than, we know, is adding its supplement, which is S. So our first equation on this problem is A equals 47 plus S. Now, we don't have another equation, but we need to think about it to make another equation. I just told you that a supplement means they add together to equal 180 degrees. So if I take my angle and its supplement, together they equal 180. That's where my second equation comes in. Now I know A equals this, so now we're going to substitute this in for A. My new equation becomes 47 plus S equals 180 degrees. Now to solve this, I'm going to combine like terms, and we get 47 plus 2S equals 180. I need to get S by itself, so I'm going to subtract 47 from both sides. When we subtract 47 from 180, we get 133. So we're actually going to come out with a decimal on this one. We get that its supplement is 133 divided by 2, which 2 goes into 13 6 times. Minus 12 is 1. Bring down the 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times again. And we're going to get 66.5. So we know the supplement is 66.5. We want to know the measure of both angles, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 66.5 in for S, and we get that A equals 47 plus 66.5. Well, if I add 47 to 66.5, we get 113.5. We can check it because it adds up to 180, so we know we did it correctly. All right. Number 10 says, Roger spent $22 on a baseball mitt and a baseball. The mitt cost $2 less than 5 times the cost of the baseball. What is the cost of the mitt? Now, if you read that quickly, it may sound confusing, but we're going to break it up. First, we're going to talk about our variables. The two things we're talking about in this problem is the mitt and the baseball. So we're going to use M for mitt, and then I'm going to use B for baseball. Now we're going to go back and read carefully to make our equations. Alright, it says Roger spent $22 on the mitt and baseball. So 22 is our total for the mitt and the baseball. There's my first equation. M plus B equals 22. Now the next sentence says the mitt cost, so M equals $2 less than 5 times the cost of the baseball. Be careful with that $2 less than. That is not 2 minus, but we know it's going to be minus 2. 5 times the cost of the baseball is 5B. So there's my second equation. M equals 5B minus 2. I'm going to actually substitute 5B minus 2 in for M, and my new equation becomes 5B minus 2 plus B equals 22. Now to solve it, I'm going to combine like terms. 5B plus B is 6B. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and we get 6B equals 24. Divide by 6, and we know that the baseball costs $4. So if the baseball is $4, then I know that the MIT is 5 times 4 minus 2, which is 20 minus 2, which is 18. So we know that the MIT was $18. I can double check this because 4 plus 18 is 22, so it works. Make sure you give an answer that makes sense. Alright, number 12 says find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 105. Consecutive integers mean numbers in a row. Like one example would be 1, 2, and 3. They're right in a row. So for this example, our variables, I'm going to say x is our first integer. I'm going to say x plus 1 is our second integer because they are in a row. And I'm going to say that x plus 2 is our third integer. We know that sum is adding, so for my equations, I'm just going to say that x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals 105. And now we're ready to solve. X plus x plus x is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and we get that 3x equals 102. Divide by 3, and our first integer is 102 divided by 3, which comes out to 34. So if my first integer is 34, then my next integer, x plus 1, has to be 35, and my last integer, x plus 2, is going to be 36. We can check this because 34 plus 35, this is my check, plus 36 should equal 105, which 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 6 is 15, 4, 7, 105. So it works. And they are consecutive. Our last problem says find 3 consecutive odd integers whose sum is 273. This is very similar, except now we've thrown in the word odd. So for my variables, my first variable is going to be x. There's my first integer. And then odd integers are always going to go by 2's. So we're going to say our next integer is going to be x plus 2. That should just say integer. And then our third integer is going to be x plus 4, since we're going by odds. Now we need an equation, so just like the last one, sum means added together, so we have x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 273. We're going to solve this the exact same way we solved the last one. X plus x is 3x, 2 plus 4 is 6. We're going to subtract the 6 from both sides, and we get that 3x equals 267. Divide by 3, and we get that our first integer is 267 divided by 3, which is going to come out to 89. Oops, 89. So my first integer is 89. My second odd integer is going to be 91, and my third odd integer is going to be 93. We can check this again like the last one by adding them all up. 89 plus 91 plus 93 is going to be 13, which gives us 273. So it works. Now, it's your job to practice these on your own, so your homework is to complete the worksheet. This is here for your help or for review whenever you need it.